studio. Today we're sitting down with a young legend in the making, Mr. Theo Alexander, CEO and founder of Social Club Atlanta. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling blessed. I'm really grateful just to be sitting here with you, Nick, to be sitting here with O'Baron. Usani, appreciate the opportunity, man. This is a blessing, so I love it.
Most definitely. I love the pieces that you got on today. Part of the new...
Hell yeah, you and me both, man. You and me both. I'm looking real clean today. It's the best I dressed in, I can't remember how long. You know what I'm saying? So I love the pieces.
Most definitely. I know it's part of the new Brick by Brick collection. You had your choice of pieces to select today. What'd you gravitate towards in those with that outfit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, first of all, black. I think black is probably my favorite color. You know, black, blue, kind of those, you know, neutral tones. So black, I love the way it looked. I love the pants. It's kind of the sleekness. It's kind of giving a high fashion feel.
Yep.
So I absolutely love that. And then the t-shirt, again, you can't go wrong with black on black. I don't care if it's the summertime. It's my vibe. This is what I feel like captures the essence of what I'm getting at. So it was perfect choice.
Yeah, super sporty, super comfortable.
Hell yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah, ideal.
This your first interview, or have you done any?
Well, I think this is my first interview, like sit down, you know, explaining, talking about the business, talking about my journey and stuff like that. I've done some written interviews before. I've been behind the camera, interviewed plenty of people. You know, that's kind of more my passion, being behind the scenes and getting a sense and getting a feel for people's stories. But no, I never really have an opportunity to tell my story. So this is the first time, man.
First of many.
Yeah, hey, God willing.
Definitely. So going into your brand, Social Club, can you share a bit about your background and just how you got started in hosting parties and events?
First of all, man, shout out to my team. So my brothers, Crispy, Clip, Jabari, Aaron. So when we were in college, we went to Morehouse College. So we came into college in 2013 and immediately, you know, again, we're in Atlanta. So it's party promoters, clubs, sections, the whole 9 yards, right? And we were kind of allured by that when we first got to Atlanta, like, oh, the club, right? And we quickly found out, you know, long lines, sections. If you're not in VIP, you're at a major disadvantage. Just the vibes weren't it, right? You kind of stuck with who you went into the section with. So we kind of saw pretty early on, our second semester, freshman year, one of our friends got a little house, you know, right off campus, off Morehouse, and we knew what to do with it. All of a sudden, you know, we knew different people on campus and stuff like that, and we just came together and just started throwing house parties, little kickbacks, little vibes like that, just organic stuff, right? Because we're like, man, we're in college, like, what's the point of just being in the section and not knowing anybody? We're trying to meet the people, you know, we're trying to meet the girls, whatever the case may be. We're trying to have a good time, house party style. So it was really just organic, man, since our freshman year, since touching down. And then it just kind of built over time. And so junior year, you know, we're throwing stuff at venues. We're collaborating with other groups, you know, in different classes. Senior year, we're throwing big parties, Halloween parties, the whole 9 yards, stuff during homecoming. So it just kind of a gradual evolution. And then graduated in 2017. I'm originally from Maryland, originally from Baltimore, Maryland. So shout out to Baltimore. But I went back home in 2017 after graduating, and didn't really know what I was gonna do. Right, I was an English major in college, didn't really have too much direction. People were telling me I should have been a marketing major, a business major, but you know, I was an English major, so that was the path that, you know, I was following at the time, and I really had no offers after college. You know, in college, it was just about partying and not taking stuff too seriously. So graduated and kind of got hit with a reality check, you know, so I'm at the crib at the time, like wondering, what am I gonna do? And then all of a sudden, I started working for like a multi-level marketing firm. So it's kind of a long story, I apologize. But like working for this multi-level marketing company. So essentially what it was is, if you ever seen like those people who go into like a Home Depot or Costco or BJ's or something like that, some of those vendors, like third-party vendors, and they're annoying as hell, right? They just talk to you and you ain't going to the store to talk to them at all, right? So that was my job, driving like 45 minutes to an hour and a half out to the DC area, walking around the store, talking to like 300 people a day and trying to push a product on behalf of another company. And I did that for maybe like 7-8 months. And within that time, you know, I was rising up within the ranks, and people are quitting this job every week, every day. People are quitting because they're like, damn, this is some BS.
Right.
You're not getting paid anything, maybe like 300 a week. You working 6 days a week, so Saturdays included as well. And again, you're just going in there hustling, talking to people, talking to strangers, right? But throughout that process, you know, I kind of learned the importance of being personable with people, work ethic, building a team, building camaraderie with your team, leadership skills, running meetings in the morning so that people will be motivated to go out and push sales, in the stores, and work my way up within that structure. And I think maybe 8 months later, I had my own company within that structure. So that was my first taste of feeling like a boss. And, I was 23 at the time, and I had people in their 30s with wives and kids and husbands, and their life was in my hands. So it was a crazy experience. It wasn't what it's cracked up to be. They were offering, they told me 6 figures, after that 8 months, and I'd have my own company, and I had my own little company within the structure, but that 6 figures wasn't there. So I was like, nah, this isn't it. Came back to Atlanta in 2019, January 2019. I got a fintech job working in tech sales. And then again, kind of that cycle we were talking about in college, where right now we're looking at the landscape of Atlanta, and there's all these beautiful, creative, talented people in Atlanta, Georgia, right? And what's the point of Atlanta, in all this glory, if all these people aren't connected, right? If we don't have avenues to connect Black people who are doing something, right, outside of just the nightclub where we're popping bottles and it's kind of a shallow experience. I never saw the point of that at all. So when I moved back, I was noticing it was the same thing that we saw when we were freshmen in college. Strictly club moves. Like, no, this can't be it. So me and my friends, me and my brother Chris Clip, we hosted a day party for Memorial Day weekend in 2019 at the rooftop, Atrium Rooftop, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and that seems to be like a pretty constant spot for you guys, like home base.
Yes, sir. That's our headquarters.
How did you form that relationship with Adrian?
Yeah, for sure. So, damn, I want to speak on this. I just say, yeah, shout out to the Atrium. Shout out to the Atrium for sure.
Definitely. Obviously, Atlanta is a breeding ground for a lot of creatives, a lot of parties, and a lot of promoters, a lot of community-based events. What do you think separates Social Club Atlanta from some of the other, I don't want to say competitors, but from the other event staff, event companies out there? And I guess, what are some specific strategies that you take to brand your events?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think one of the biggest things, again, we've been doing this for so long, right? We've been doing this organically for 10 years at this point, right? Just hosting parties through college. And I think where we went to school, having gone to Morehouse, right, which is the epicenter, the AUC is the epicenter, the mecca of young Black talent that's going to matriculate into the world. So the fact that we already had those connections at a base level through college and then after college, I think that gives us a big advantage right there, right? Because we've already built these relationships over time. So I think that's something that's not necessarily too easy to replicate unless you're just doing it organically over time. I think too, just being original, right? We never wanted to be party promoters. I don't like partying for real. I enjoy our parties for sure, but that's why we do it. Is because everything else out here wasn't our vibe. It wasn't fitting with us. So I think the biggest thing is we're just trying to create a lane for something that we rock with, and I think just organically, the way that we care about people, the way our attention to detail, the way that we put the vibes together, I just think it's different, man. And really originally creating that space, not really being inspired by anybody else at that time, 2019, like I said, fresh out of college. We just want to dance, have fun, sing, have a space where people can hold a conversation. That wasn't going on. So I think we're just original in that way. And I feel like, behind the scenes, we just have a strong, very, very strong bond that I don't think a lot of people have either. So
yeah, I think also you guys have a really strong social media presence. That was one of the first things that I noticed, and something that I noticed about a lot of creatives, how active are they in social media? And I think when I followed you guys, you did it. Maybe it was you or someone from your team and you were like, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
And I felt like that made me feel very included and very welcome, and it was almost like a very exclusive feel. So how important has social media been to cultivate community?
Yeah, absolutely. And even with that, just taking that approach, I think people don't really understand how serious we take this, or at least how serious I take this, right? So I run the page, right? And, I'm the CEO, founder of it, right? So anytime you're the leader of any type of movement, people are only going to take it as serious as you take it, right? So I got to set the tone every single day, I'm willing to go as far as I need to go with this. So to your point, it's not just parties, right? It's hospitality. It's a big lifestyle brand. So that welcoming message, that's something that people aren't doing, I guarantee. But again, that's something that I want to make people feel welcome, to this community, right? It's not about ego. It's not about that. It's about us being connected, right? Because if we're connected, right, quality of relationships dictates the quality of your life. Right? We're all young, black, ambitious people trying to get to it. So we're behind as black people anyway. So why would I be somebody who's like, man, like, I don't like them. I don't like, nah, like I want to be intentional about who we're gathering with, but that's because there's so many changes and impact that can happen from the right people knowing each other, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. And social media is essential. You know, we were talking about this earlier. We're conveying and painting a picture of a lifestyle, painting a picture of experiences, right? In order to do that, you got to have the right content, right? So I think we're blessed in that capacity, just our team, as far as how it's structured. You know, I work in sales, as a sales background. My partner Jabari has a marketing background. My partner Clip is a creative background with media. My partner Aaron is an advertising background, and he's creative as well when it comes to editing video. So we're just really creative people, I think, too. So I think we love what we do, and I think when it comes to the content, that's essential. You know, you got to paint the picture the way we want it to be painted, and we take it serious.
100%. And you mentioned it's been about 10 years since you guys have started. Obviously, you've come a long way. Can you kind of go into detail about maybe some of the challenges you might have faced early on and how you overcame those challenges?
Yeah. I can take you back to the first party we had.
Please.
The first party we had where we branded it officially as a social club. We were at the rooftop, right? And this is back in the days where I'm using my own social media, posting every single post on my own social media, posting every single post on the brand social media, right? We don't really have too much of a presence at that time. It's the audience that we built up over time. But the very first event that we had, it started raining, right? And you know, we're on a rooftop with it. So we built up all this anticipation. I can't believe it's about to rain, right? But, you know, I think part of the role that I'm in and part of the task that we're faced with is being resourceful, you know, when adversity hits, right? So we had moved like a bunch of furniture from up top to inside, like at the last second, just trying to give people a vibe because y'all paid to show up, but we're knowing that people want to be on the rooftop. So it was kind of like I had to make some hard decisions just in the moment, like, I think it stopped raining, like, hey, we got to go back up top. We have to, because this is what we're getting at. Like, this is our difference. This rooftop, this experience that people are getting, open air, dancing, singing, this is what we're advertising. So that was the very first party, you know, and it actually worked out where we had, you know, a little vibe inside, but then we actually moved all the furniture up. So we're carrying furniture up to the rooftop, everything, the whole 9 yards, and it ended up being a good night. And from there, you know, just with anything, you know, any type of business, if you give people a good experience, if they have a good experience with your product or service, they're gonna tell somebody else. You know, it's just gonna grow organically, but it starts with people having a good time. So that was essential, man. And yeah, honestly, I can't even remember too many of the challenges, bro. Honestly, like, I think that's just how my mind works too. Like, we just get past it.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys were able to overcome like a little bump in the road, because obviously the weather does play a factor in when you're doing something outside.
Absolutely.
And you can never be too comfortable with
that. Yeah. I got anxiety every event. Like, every event that we had, you know, obviously we got backup plans and everything else like that, but it's 2 weeks away. You looking at the weather like, oh, what's going on? The last party we had, it was supposed to rain. It was supposed to storm, rain on May 4th, and by the grace of God, it didn't. So, you know, I think that plays into our mindset too. I feel like we're protected, you know, with what we're doing. So
1,000%. And I was actually in the area when that event was going on, and y'all had the block rocking. Like,
appreciate it.
Can hear the music from up the street. You know what I'm saying? Looked like a vibe. The recap was beautiful.
For sure. Appreciate that, man. Love
If you haven't already been, you definitely got to check out.
Hell yeah, they gotta come. Yeah.
Going into, I guess, pivoting into, you know, we talked about maybe some not so favorable moments with Social Club. Is there a moment you can highlight, like maybe your most memorable moment since you've been doing this? Maybe like a celebrity might have pulled up, or just a really impactful moment or something that was said. I don't know. Can you go into detail about just something that sticks out to you the most since you've been doing this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the most memorable thing, I would say the most memorable thing about this whole journey is, one, just the impact that we've had on the people, honestly, because we've had people who have been married by meeting at our parties, people who have done business by meeting at our parties, people who have met friends, obviously, by meeting at our parties. So that's the goal. That's the mission at the end of the day. So mission accomplished. And anytime somebody hits me after the party and they're like, that was amazing, that was a great time, like, I had a blast, I think we take pride in that too. Like, we've been doing this for, I guess, 5 years, 3 years since the pandemic. And I feel like every party, every event that we've had, it's gotten better. And I feel like that's a testament to the work that we put in. And I think that everybody who's kind of seen us along this journey, they can see the growth in each one of us. You know, I'm definitely not the same person I was 5 years ago. And I would hate if I was, you know, and in order to have more, you have to become more. So I think just the responsibility that we have, we got a vision, we got a dream, and we've seen some success with it. So I think that's the biggest thing is I want to take it all the way. I want to take it all the way. So I think the most gratifying thing is just seeing the growth, the fact that we've been able to impact so many people, provide positivity to hundreds to thousands of Black people, and bringing positivity and influencing the culture in that way and shifting the narrative as far as how we're painted. I think that's super impactful. But just the fact that I've been able to do it with my family, man, like I've been able to do it with my family, and that's the biggest thing.
How do you guys keep your parties fresh for the people that come back pretty often?
Yeah. So I think part of it is our strategy where, again, you got to implement some scarcity, right? So 2019, we only had 3 parties in the summer, right? Because our biggest thing, obviously, we were working jobs at that time too. So we can't give it to you every weekend. You know, you got to miss this. Like my goal is every time you pull up, I got to be there. And you have to be there, right? You can't miss it. Right, so I think whether it's playing on different themes, whether it's playing with different DJs, different sounds, different vibes, incorporating different things, whether it's incorporating different tactics and strategies within the marketing, I think it's only as fresh as you. At the end of the day, it's only as fresh as us. And, you know, I keep that fire lit every single day. So it's not too hard. You know, I think it's just the energy. It's like we're not really active in the wintertime. So that's a natural 5-6 month layoff, right? From October to May is what we had a layoff this time. So we give people plenty of time to miss us, but you know, when that weather starts getting warm, you know, it's social club time. So we here.
Is there like a key aspect that you think makes a party like a success? Like if you had to narrow it down to maybe like the music or the vibe or like the drinks that are served?
Oh yeah.
What's in your opinion, like what's the cherry on top that just makes any party?
It's all the above. I think first and foremost it starts with the people, right? Like the people, the energy of the people, right? Like if you're around good people in the room, you know how it is. Like, oh, there's some good people in here. It's a vibe, right? Then you gotta have the music on point. The music gotta be on point, and it has to be on point for your audience. Right, what does your audience want to hear? So making sure that you understand who your target audience is, understand what their music taste is, and then give them that. And then of course you gotta have the drinks flowing. You know what I'm saying? Like access to alcohol is essential. You know, so the more people that can get in their vibe, drink, whatever the case may be, they don't have to wait in long lines. That's definitely essential. And then if you can add some food as like a cherry on top, you know, it always hits food or just customer engagement, interaction things like a photo booth or something like that. You know, those go a long way. But I think essentially you definitely need the right group of people for any gathering. You know, I think that makes it valuable and memorable. The music gotta be on point, and the drinks gotta be flowing. And the venue gotta be on point. Venue has to be on point.
For sure. I want to know more about you as a person, like how you get like the vibe at these events. What's like your favorite drink to pour up, and maybe some of your favorite types of music to spin?
Yeah, definitely. Shoot, I mean, I know I like, man. I'm really just on the tequila, honestly, like margaritas. You know, I used to drink a little more when I was younger. You know, as you get older, you know, you're taking on responsibility. You got to be in control. Sure. So that's one of the biggest things that I've learned, like over time, is having to be in control. You know, you're a face of the brand, representing the brand properly. So making sure that you can't be sloppy at all and nothing like that. So I think, you know, so tequila, it'll be small, but I'm kind of drinking a little bit of everything. If they send it my way, I might drink it, you know, and hopefully nobody does anything to my cup or nothing like that. So let's put that out there. But as far as the vibes too, man, you know, I love like hip hop classics. You know, you can bring back to the 2000s, the 90s. You can give me some R&B. You can give me some reggae. You can give me some Afro beats. You can give me a little bit of everything. You know, just I want to vibe. I want to dance. I want to sing. I don't want to feel like I'm in Atlanta. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't want to feel like I'm in Atlanta. I don't know where we are. I don't want to feel like we in Atlanta. I want to feel like, damn, this is a vibe. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's just so much positivity up here. It's a vibe.
Yeah. So, in terms of how you're able to reach your community, you had mentioned, you guys use social media pretty actively. We touched on that. And then you also mentioned that you met a lot of your early connections in school at Morehouse. How do you continue to like outreach though?
Yeah. Shoot, that's a good question. I don't want to give out too much, but I think a big thing is obviously the content, like we talked about before, and not just content. I noticed with a lot of other collectives, not even collectives, I don't even want to limit it to collectives. Like, I think just artists, entrepreneurs in general, you gotta post your work, man. Like, if you post your work, and again, we have an internal kind of filter. Like, I'm the last person who's pressing send, so I know like the standard of content that we're pushing out. If you're pushing out quality content and you know that, like, all right, I think that's part of being an artist. Taste level, right? Like, I trust my taste level. My team, I trust our taste level. And if it's up to our standards, I know the people are gonna like it, right? Because we're very particular about it. So I would just say that more that you can push out quality content, the better, right? And I think that's part of our advantage too, is I activate the stories every single day, right? And I want to show you pictures of people having fun. Why? That's social proof. You know that, okay, I see somebody that I know, somebody that I respect, somebody I look up to, somebody that I got a crush on, whatever the case may be. They at the social club. And I'm putting that in your face every single day. There's not too many other people that's doing that. And then once you see us on the feed, we're going to be active too with something that, okay, it's painting a picture of something that you want to be a part of. And then once you come in person, it's actually like that. We're not just selling you a dream. So,
no, that sounds like a recipe for success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there any advice that you can give to people like looking to do this or looking to do something similar?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say in general, like, take the time to understand yourself. Understand, like, what is your gift? What are your talents? Right, I think that's number one, right? Because everybody's different. Nobody who's ever walked this earth is exactly like me, and nobody ever will be exactly like me or you, right? So we're all one-of-one beings. So I think that's important to recognize to start off, right? And then two, once you find your purpose or your passion, I think it's your job and our responsibility and duty. We don't get these gifts for no reason, right? God didn't give us these gifts and these talents for no reason. He gave it to us so that we can express them and hopefully make the world a better place. That's the way I choose to see it, right? So my responsibility is to take this gift that we have and this momentum that we have and try to take it as far as we can take it to try to impact more people. So
100%. Yeah, that's a gem. I'm feeling inspired, man. Lastly, I kind of wanted to know, like, what are your future plans and goals for what you have going on with Social Club?
Yeah, absolutely. So we definitely want to expand, beyond just Atlanta. We want to expand into New York and the DC and the LA and the Houston. We have some of these connections in these different markets. Long term, though, again, I'm not keen on just parties, so we want to, we got plans, to really do real business on a grand scale beyond just parties. Parties is one piece of the pie. But we definitely, we're going to make some real moves. So they're going to feel us. I can't say too much, but they're going to feel us.
I look forward to seeing the journey and, proud of everything you've been able to accomplish so far.
Thank you, man.
Looking forward to what the future holds.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
It's been a great interview, man.
Yeah, this is fire.